Here is the fully expanded voiceover script, written continuously in paragraph format in English, meticulously detailed and paced out to meet your requirement of approximately 12,000 characters. This version dives deep into the psychology, tactical analysis, and visceral horror of the survival scenario. You think an amusement park is the perfect fortress. When the world ends and the cities burn, human instinct drives us to seek out walls, high gates, secure perimeters. The promise of untouched concession stands filled with enough non-perishable calories to last a decade. It is a seductive lie. You see a 10-foot chain-link fence topped with barbed wire, and you think you've found a sanctuary. You look at the towering silhouette of a Ferris wheel and you see the ultimate sniper's nest, a watchtower that grants you a God's eye view of the wasteland. But you are wrong. Terribly, fatally wrong. Once the sun goes down in the apocalypse, the rules change. The infected do not sleep. They do not fatigue. And in a world swallowed by darkness, any sudden burst of light or sound equals immediate, violent death. This is the anatomy of a 36-hour nightmare inside a place built for joy, now repurposed for slaughter. Could you survive it? Let's run the simulation. 30-6 hours earlier, a group of 4 seasoned survivors makes a catastrophic tactical error. They choose Thrillville, USA, an abandoned Midwestern amusement park, as their temporary stronghold. On paper, to the untrained eye, the logistics make absolute sense. The park sits on the outskirts of a major suburban zone, meaning the initial panic drew the population away from it, toward the highways and military quarantine zones. The outer perimeter boasts a reinforced steel and concrete security fence, designed to keep non-paying customers out. More importantly, the park's storage bunkers are a gold mine. Thousands of gallons of purified water in plastic bottles, endless pallets of high-sugar syrups, and vacuum-sealed vendor food. It is a caloric paradise in a starving world. Mark, a former logistics officer who has kept the group alive this long, makes the call to breach the employee gates. Sarah, pragmatic and cautious, checks the rust on the heavy steel locks. Leo, the group's dedicated scavenger, is already calculating how much food they can haul away. Chloe, the youngest but perhaps the most perceptive, keeps her rifle raised, her eyes scanning the empty ticket booths. The heavy clank of the metal gate locking behind them sounds like a victory. In reality, it is the sound of a cage swinging. Shut. They move inward, passing rows of sun-bleached mascots and empty trees. The silence is absolute, broken only by the wind howling through the hollow steel tubes of the roller coasters. They decide to set up their base camp in the central plaza, right in the shadow of a massive, frozen carousel. They drop their heavy canvas, backpacks, the tension finally leaving their shoulders as they sit by a dried-up ornamental fountain. They feel safe. But here is your very first survival lesson. Open spaces and circular environments offer 0 tactical choke points. When you secure a rectangular room, you know exactly where the door is. You have a fatal funnel where you can direct your firepower. But a central amusement park plaza is designed as a hub, a wheel with a dozen spokes leading off into different, themed zones. If a perimeter breach happens here, the threat will not come from a single hallway. It will converge on you from 360 degrees. You cannot check your 6 o'clock if you have a dozen different blind spots. As the group rests, unaware of their vulnerability, the camera of our simulation pans down. Just 20 feet away, hidden in the shadows of a deep drainage grate beneath a cotton candy stand, a pair of pale infected eyes blinks in the darkness. The park is not empty. The illusion of safety begins to crack at the 5-hour mark. Leo is scavenging near the food court, prying open cash registers and checking the industrial refrigerators for anything that hasn't spoiled. He walks past a churro stand and, out of pure muscle memory, flips a random light switch on the wall. He expects nothing. The grid has been dead for 8 months. The entire county is a black zone. But then, the bulb above him flickers. It buzzes, a sickly yellow light casting long shadows across the cracked pavement. Deep in the bowels of the park, the low-frequency hum of a massive industrial generator vibrates through the soles of their boots. Why is there power? This is the hidden danger of commercial infrastructure. Massive amusement parks do not rely entirely on the fragile municipal grid. They are equipped with automated backup diesel generators, the size of school buses, designed to keep vital ride mechanics and security systems active during a blackout. And this system wasn't permanently shut down. It was put on an automated, delayed timer. The park is waking up. The true nature of their mistake reveals itself near the Grand Carousel. Mark is conducting a perimeter sweep when he notices something. Wrong with the painted horses? He steps closer, his boots crunching on broken glass. He wipes his gloved hand across the flank of a gilded fiberglass stallion. It comes away wet, thick, and crimson. Fresh blood. It hasn't even begun to coagulate. An amusement park isn't just a fortress. It's a sprawling, multi-layered rat maze filled with maintenance tunnels, subterranean employee break rooms, and hollow ride structures. And the rats are already inside, quietly waiting in the dark, damp spaces. Suddenly, the carousel's internal music box chimes a single, echoing note. The sound cuts through the dead air like a knife. The first contact happens fast, and it is brutally unforgiving. Chloe steps into the neon-lit cavern of the mega arcade to look for a secondary exit. It is a graveyard of dead arcade cabinets and faded carpet. She clicks on her tactical flashlight, sweeping the narrow aisles. Close quarters combat in a cluttered, hyper-stimulating environment is an absolute death sentence. There are too many reflections, too many human-shaped silhouettes to process. Her flashlight beam hits a massive, rotting teddy bear mascot slumped against a skee-ball machine. She pauses. The pin-drop silence is shattered by the wet, tearing sound of feeding. The mascot slowly turns around. Its jaw is missing entirely. Beneath the giant foam head, its chest cavity torn open. It lunges with terrifying speed. Chloe screams, falling backward over a racing game cabinet. She raises her rifle and fires 3 rapid shots, but the thick, dense foam of the mascot suit absorbs the kinetic impact of the rounds, hiding the infected's actual skeletal anatomy. She can't hit the central nervous system. She fires again, this time blowing the foam head apart and neutralizing the threat. She survives the ambush, breathing heavily in the gun-smoke-filled arcade. But that gunfire saves her life, only to doom the entire group. In survival scenarios, noise discipline is your ultimate armor. Sound travels up to 2 miles. In open air under the right conditions, in an empty, concrete-paved amusement park, surrounded by quiet suburbs, the crack of a high-caliber rifle echoes like a dinner bell to anything listening within a massive radius. The ringing in Chloe's ears fades, replaced by a sound that chills. Her to the bone, outside the arcade, beyond the walls of the park, a distant, collective groan begins to rise. It multiplies, layering upon itself until it becomes a deafening, mechanical roar. They aren't just dealing with a few infected stragglers anymore. The horde has heard them. Panic is the ultimate enemy of the survivor. It destroys logic, it destroys fine motor coordination, and it destroys unit cohesion. As the survivors rush back to the central plaza, they look toward the main entrance. The wide shot is terrifying. Hundreds, then thousands of infected are pressing against the old steel The sheer fluid dynamics of thousands of rotting bodies pressing forward with zero regard for self-preservation is unstoppable. The reinforced glass of the ticket booths shatters inward. The heavy steel gates begin to bend, groaning under the immense, crushing pressure. As the horde breaches the main gate,